Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Jackie Van Workham, founder of Grieving Moms Finding Hope. Gosh, I missed you guys. It's been a while since I've done a Hope After the Landslide. Well, it is summer, and I have my awesome friend Lisa here. And Lisa has done a Facebook Live with us before some time ago, right, Lisa?
Yeah,
And
it's been
so
a
I want
while.
to thank her for being here. And Lisa's also a leader of the Grieving Moms group that I'll let her talk about that at Mariners Church. And how long have you been doing that now?
We finished 1 year. We're going into the next one in August.
So she can talk about that and if you're down in that area. But I just want to say that tonight is going to be, as we always do, just sort of an open conversation. But I'd like for you to put down right in the comments where you're viewing from. Also, if you have any questions while we're talking, if we don't address that while we're here, we can always come back and answer your questions, because a lot of times there's a lot of comments and we're in the middle of talking because we're good at that and we may miss them. So I apologize. And ladies, first of all, we're so sorry you have to be here. It is not the club that you wanted to be a part of, and I'm just so sorry that you had this horrific loss. And in the middle of it, we're here at Grieving Moms Finding Hope to give you that hope, to not have you be stuck, to have this joy that can come only from God, that you still have a purpose, a plan and a purpose here, despite how hard it is. So we're going to talk about, if it's just happened and, things maybe you can do. And Lisa's going to share about her sweet son, Jonathan, and whatever else God puts on her heart. But we just want to say thank you for being here. And we hope that you continue to join us, because we have the devotion that goes out, Hope at Sunrise. And as I said today earlier on a Facebook Live that I did out by the river, we know that we can't do everything here for you, and I'm grieving, Lisa's grieving, but we do have a lot of resources. And again, we just have this love for you guys to know that you're not alone, and that we can link arms together and be in this community again that you did not want to be a part of. But we have a lot of different resources to help you to get connected. And one of them, of course, is being in a group like Lisa's doing at a church, in a home, or even on Zoom, that you don't even have to leave your home at all. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to stop talking. But let me not forget to talk about the retreat that's coming in October, Lisa. So, Lisa, again, thank you for being here and sharing your story and your journey.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to be able to speak into people's lives and to kind of walk into the hell that I've already come out of. And I always say to the women I work with is, hey, I've been to the hell that you're in. I have the keys to the door that is the
Mhm.
way out. So let me help you come out of this hell that you're in, and really just focusing on Christ. And so I find that this forum actually gives me that opportunity as well. Just I can't see them face to face, but I'm able to say, hey, Jackie and I have actually walked through the hell that you're walking through. And we know that it's not easy, but you will come out, and you'll be able to breathe again. You'll be able to live again. You'll be able to hope again. And that's what this whole thing is about. And one of the things, I'm just going to go into something that I've shared that I think is really, really impactful for the women I work with, is to remember that your child is not behind you. They're not in your past, but they're before you, and you'll see them again. They're ahead of you, and you are walking towards them. You're not walking away from them. So my son, Jonathan Farrell, he had cystic fibrosis, and he was age 20 when he passed away in 2013. So it's been 6 years. And so I tell people, I'm 6 years closer to seeing my son again. I'm 6 years closer, 6.5 years, really, 6.5 years closer to wrapping my arms around him and holding him again. That is exciting to me. And if I were to, change the mind frame and look at it in the negative way, you can see how quickly that can go downhill. So I'd much rather say, I'm going to see him. I'm closer to that,
Mhm.
and that hope. So, I hope that all of us would have that hope and would hold on to things like that. And so, anyways, a little bit about my son there.
I love that, by the way. I love when you always say that because I've used that with other moms. It's like every day gets another day closer to be able to see them.
Yeah, because when you think they're in your past, they seem to be further away. But when you know that they're in your future and they're ahead of you, they're before you, there's hope. That's what this whole program's about. Like let's ignite hope, and that hope is they're still
Hmm.
alive, and we're walking towards them, and we're not walking away from them.
Yes. Ignite hope. That's really good. I'm gonna have to write that down.
You do that. Ignite hope.
Exactly. So, how about if we share a little bit? You shared with me a little bit in the very beginning. We were talking about summertime.
Mhm. Summertime. A lot of times I see summer as a time to take a break, a time to step away, time to do something different than you do in the normal mundane day of your life. And as you mourn or as you grieve, it can be tiring. It can be
Right.
taxing on the body. And sometimes we just need a break. We just need to step away for a moment. And us stepping away from the constant reminder, the constant hurt and pain, and do something different to kind of distract us. In that, doing something different and distracting us, we actually find healing. I was listening to somebody who was very much into exercise, and they said, when you're exercising, you're in there and you're in the gym and you're working out and you're working hard on your body, but your body actually does need to also rest and not exercise for it to strengthen itself, for it to be whole and healed and complete, because you're tearing muscle and you're doing all these things as you're exercising. And so for us to walk towards healing, we want to make sure that during our this summer, or it could be in the fall and still be our summer, but remember to take those breaks. Remember to step away from the constant thought process of what happened. Relax your mind from that constant thought and do your best to think about something else. Not to say you're trying to forget, XYZ, can't forget the day, can't forget this, can't forget my child. I'm not saying that. I'm saying rest. Give yourself rest from it. And that's kind of what summer reminds me of, is just rest.
Yeah. That's yeah,
Yeah.
because we're trying to, put things in the different seasons. And some of you may have birthdays that your child was born. Some of you may
Mm-hmm.
have their angelversary that you have to go through, but have to go paint the house or all these crazy projects that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Let's get outside in nature. And, like we were talking about, maybe you can't afford to go to Europe or someplace, that costs a lot of money. So make a picnic lunch, take everybody out. And
Mm-hmm.
Lisa especially loves to play badminton, right, Lisa?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
We were talking about the simple things in life. She goes, no, I'm not going to play badminton.
But you want to do things that are just going to find some sort of just peace of mind, and whatever that is. Some women want to go do their nails, and some want to go and hit a ball, and that's fine. I can't hit a ball. I'm just unfortunate in that, but it's okay. But if I wanted to remember my son and I wanted to do an activity that he loved, I would go play baseball. I
Hmm.
would I would try and play baseball. But he loved that sport. So every time I see baseball, I think of my son. So I actively try my best to be a part of what's happening with baseball because it reminds me of him. It brings me close to him. I don't stare away from it. And some moms, choose to steer away from maybe that thing that their child loved, or that, place that their child enjoyed to be, and that's fine. That's a decision that you make. I personally have chosen to embrace the things that he loved. And, Disneyland just came out with Star Wars, and I'm down the street from Disneyland. And so I'm like, I've got to go, because he would have loved that. And so I'm going to embrace those things that just honor his memory and for me, and be with him. if that
I
makes sense.
remember you posting that you were at Disneyland, and I'm a little envious that I'm not in Southern California anymore because I've been wanting to go see the Star Wars. So I'm going to be looking for pictures from when you go there for sure.
Yes. Yes.
I want to take a moment to say hi to Sharon and to Margie, and I'm having a hard time with my contact seeing, but we're going to keep trying to reach out and saying hi to everybody. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I was going to say, oh, I know that it was. If you can't do those things now, maybe later you can entertain the idea
Mm-hmm.
of being able to do it. And I don't know about you, Lisa, but I think just from what you told me about Jonathan, I think that Randy and Jonathan would have probably been like, it is like this picture is like his mom, come on. You know that I loved eating this or that. Come on. I'm
Mm-hmm.
so okay up here. Like where I'm at right now is so amazing. So I know you missed me, but like you said, we're a day closer, and go and eat a bowl of ice cream in honor of me, or go to
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland in honor of me and celebrate that, because I don't know. I just always feel that they can see what we're
Mm-hmm.
doing. They want to experience that. I want to say hi to Twyla and to Carla also, as you guys are jumping on here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. One of the things that we can have our three wishes, to hurry up and see them again, to make time go quicker, and just to know that they're okay. As a mom, we want to make sure that they're happy, they're whole, they're healthy, are they okay? And those
Mhm.
are just a mom's wishes. But when I think about the wishes that my son would have, he doesn't need to wish to see me again because he can see me.
Mhm.
He doesn't have time, so he's not trying to wish time to go quicker because he's outside of time. But the one wish that he would have that mirrors mine is he would hope that I'm happy, I'm whole, I'm okay, and I'm
Mm.
healthy, that I'm enjoying my life, and that I'm not hurting. So as I wish that they're not hurting, he's wishing that I'm not hurting.
Oh,
And
I
so
love
I honor him when I'm not hurting, when I'm actually enjoying my life, because now he can say, okay, that's my wish. You're
Mhm.
fulfilling my wish, Mom. And so that's what I'm trying to do. And if that makes any sense, I
Yeah,
hope that
and
makes
they
sense.
do, and they're being our cheerleader. I know it's so ironic just to be thinking about that. Well, and first of all, when my other son Ryan had the CMDR session, when he had contact that he felt that Randy was sharing with him, he kept saying to Ryan, like, go back and be that guy that you were before I died. Go be
Mm-hmm.
that silly guy, go back to skateboarding, go doing all that things. And then Ryan said that he pictured him running off, and he was busy, like he had a job to do. And he was like so excited to see Ryan, but yet he was so excited to get back to what he was doing. And
Mm-hmm.
ladies, I want you to know that there are so many beautiful forums that are out there, and whatever works for you. And everybody asks me, why is it that there isn't like a chat line that we could do? And you can certainly do that on the comments on the side, like in these situations, and there's another place to do it. But on the runnings, like post, we want to provide hope. And sometimes what happens is somebody's in a really horrible place. Now granted, sometimes people are really good and uplifting and prayerful, but then it ends up we feed off of one another's pain. And then it just seems to get bigger and bigger. And here, like Lisa said, we want to provide you guys hope and to give you the tools and know that Jesus has got a plan for you,
Mm-hmm.
and never to forget that. And I love how we're really putting the kids in a light right now, even if it's just happened to you guys. And please give yourselves a lot of grace. Like Lisa said, your body wants rest. Your brain and your body has gone through something that it doesn't even know what to do with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to eat properly, and don't say I deserve to have a piece of cake or go to those bad coping devices. Your body is like, be thankful that I always thank God. Thank you, God, for getting me through this mentally and physically, going on like 3.5 years later. And it doesn't mean again that I don't have those bad days. Today is
Mm-hmm.
my grandson, his son's 10th birthday. And I went back through, was looking for photos of Randy holding Noah, and I started going down that path of looking at the photos. And for an instant, I was like, God, why? Like, why, and that's okay as long as you don't keep going down, 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 because then all of a sudden I go back to God saying, I know you've got this. And
Mm-hmm.
again, my son saying, Mom, come on, Mom, you've got a job to do. And I want you to do it with joy, because you're not going to be much of a light if you're constantly being in a pessimistic state of mind. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
let me say hi to Linda and to Lisa. Another Lisa's on here, and Christy. Thank you, ladies, for being here. And again, put in your comment, Kathleen, put your comments in the comments where you're viewing from, and if you have any questions for any of us. So Lisa, you want to talk a little bit about your beautiful group that's down there in Orange County at Mariners Church?
Sure, sure. We have it's face to face. We're in person group there at Mariners Church, and we're restarting on August the 10th, and it'll be a Saturday morning group so that people can have the rest of their Saturday. And it's going to go for a 6-week session, and we will end it with a dove launch, and so just like we did with the last group. So it was good. One of the things that I do touch on in the group is, grief itself is brokenheartedness. And if we were to look at, just even in scripture, Isaiah 53, it says, he was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. He was acquainted with that brokenheartedness. And then he was despised and we did not esteem him. Surely he has borne our griefs. He has borne our brokenheartedness, and he's carried our pains. Yet we esteemed him stricken, struck by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions, crushed because of our iniquities. And the chastisement, that chastisement is that unsettling, repeated thought, like I shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's chastisement. Like, why didn't I? That the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by him we are healed. And so when we think about everything that we've gone through, everything that we feel like, oh, I should be quote unquote better by now, or feeling better by now.
Mm-hmm.
How can you measure time on a broken heart? If you were to break your leg, you're going to give yourself XYZ days, weeks to heal that leg. Your heart is the most important organ in your body, I would say. And if my heart has been broken into pieces from the trauma that just happened, I have to allow for not only time, but I have to allow for it to heal, and for it to heal properly. And that's why we're talking about the rest. That's why we're talking about getting into the word. That's why we're talking about like giving yourself a break from beating yourself up in like, why did this happen? Or what could I have done? Like, no. The peace of God, let it rest on you. And that peace of God actually starts to heal your heart and your mind. And that the scar, it will be there forever. Just like when you go through surgery, and they have to work on you, you're going to have a scar that reminds you of that surgery forever. But guess what? That surgery and that scar, at first, it hurts. As it's healing, it hurts. It hurts really badly. Somebody touches it, he's like, that hurt. But once the scar is completely healed, though you can still see it, and though and you can remember the details of that pain, there is actually no more pain. It's now a remembrance. It's now I separate grieving and mourning in the classes I give. There's grief that is miserable. It's misery. It's despicable. It's horrible. And then there's mourning that is healthy and it's good, because we think of our child and we remember them, and we either laugh or we cry when we remember them. And that's mourning, and that's good, and it's healthy, and it's healing. But that grief and that brokenheartedness, Christ knew that would be unbearable. So he went and died for it. He said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bear this for you because it's unbearable what you're going through. The brokenheartedness, only I can heal. Only I can fix. Let me do that for you. And so he's asking you and he's inviting you, if you're listening to me right now, to allow him to be that surgeon of your heart and to heal you in such a way that only he can do. Only he can do. And I look back at it, and I can talk about my son. We laugh, and it was a few years that had passed since my son's passing, and I was good. I was feeling great. Like I'm feeling good. I'm appreciating my son. I'm doing great, living life. I go to my friend's wedding, and there's the dance with the son and the mom, and he was my only son. And so here they're having this dance, and I look at it with just like, oh, I had to re-mourn the loss of the dance. I had to re-mourn and cry it out. So I cried. I cried into my friend's arms and just let it out. And after I cried, I was like, okay, I'm good. I needed that. It healed me. It had already been like 3 or 4 years, but I needed to cry still. So we don't beat ourselves up when it's been years and we're still crying, because that's all part of the mourning process. That's all part of healing.
I love that. And, thank you for bringing that up, because that is something that is a big trigger for me. Because in your situation, you didn't have that with Jonathan. And then I did have that with Randy. And then when I had to do it for my other 2 boys, it brought those same things back. And I wept and I wept and wept. And so thank you for identifying that. Doesn't mean that it's just going to never happen. It's okay, because we have to get it out.
Yeah.
If you don't get it out, it's going to surface in some other way. And we don't want that. And gosh, what a beautiful picture to say, because, again, it's so common to hear. It's like, if you have, a wound, you don't want to keep opening it. And I think that every single time that we bring in those spin drifts that we talk about in Grieving Moms Finding Hope, those woulda, coulda, shouldas, and because it's summer, I was talking about these are the woulda, coulda, shouldas. And today I've been killing flies, and that's like what you got to do with your woulda, coulda, shouldas. And I know that's silly, but we have to laugh a little bit too. But it doesn't serve you, and it's reopening that. It's almost like when you glue something and then you go to move it within seconds later, and you start moving it around. Well, it's not
healing.
Yeah, it's not. So I love that little analogy on talking about that. So when you bring God's word in, as Lisa did in Isaiah 53, it's like it's mending to the heart. It is, when you read this, it brings it to life. If it just closed on your table, and let's talk for a second, Lisa, about, I am certain there's moms that are really angry with God. And before we do that, let me just go here for a second, because I want to acknowledge, because that's why we do live. So Christy is on here. Hi, Denise. And Denise is here from Corona, and Amy's from Coldwater, Missouri. Hi, Adela. She's also saying to get out and volunteer or serve others. Fayetteville, Arkansas. I was like Fairfax, Virginia. Hi, Susie. Gosh, I apologize. My contact is all goobied up. Tracy Ray and Amy. Denise, I want to make sure I get all you guys. And thank you so much, Linda, for saying that. I love you back. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. And I promise I will get back to some of these that I have missed, and continue to put, where you're viewing from. And also, if you're just now joining us, this is Lisa, and we're kind of getting towards the end, but I think there's going to be some other things we want to talk about. And what we're really identifying is being able to take away the woulda, coulda, shouldas, bringing God's word in and replacing it with that instead of the blame and the shame, because we know that the enemy, once we survive the landslide, there is nothing more that the enemy wants to do is to try to knock you down again. Every time I have my groups online, Lisa, and I'm sure you do it with this, I'm like, the mere fact that you ladies are here and you're participating, we even get a laugh in every now and then, you are a threat to Satan, because you have survived one of the most horrific things that any parent could ever go through. And as you guys all know, it is not uncommon. It is happening, and Satan is at war. And so if we here at Grieving Moms Finding Hope, or any other mom decides that we don't want to get out of bed, then he wins and gets into life another one, because you have a group of people that God's got for you to shine your light. Does that mean, again, that you have to do it tomorrow if this has just happened? Absolutely not. When you can, you will. That's Kay Warren's quote. But to know that you are the only ones that can carry on that legacy of your child. So we need you to be out there to do that. And the only way to do it is to be able to get together and link arms with other moms. Because as I was looking on my phone today, it was just so beautifully said, and I hope I can read it here. It said, in my 7 years of navigating the world as a bereaved parent, I am continually struck by the power of the bond between bereaved parents. Strangers become kindreds in mere seconds. A look, a glance, a knowing of the heart connects us, even if we've never met before. It's a safe place.
It is. It is. I feel like, your question about, what if the mom or the dad or the brother or sister, what if they're angry at God? And that's a very natural response, because you're thinking, well, God, you're all powerful, you're all knowing. So why did this happen? That whole why syndrome. And, I always turn it to, I know scripture says that all things work together for good, right? And I know he's a good father. And so if this was the good of it all, then the alternative would have been worse. Okay. Maybe my child would have suffered something else, or I don't know. I don't have the answers. And so what I tell, the group that I'm with is, if you were to ask the question, the why, to the Lord, and he were to answer you the answer, would it make you feel better? Does it now? Okay, I'm good now. I got the answer. No, it doesn't help, right?
Yeah.
But ask away. Go to the Lord and say, why this, why that, how could you, da, da, da. He's okay with you being real with him. He's not afraid of us being real with him. He'd rather you do that than be fake in front of him, right? Yeah. So be real and expect that he will respond. I'm not saying he'll respond with the answer, but with an answer that heals. And that answer is his peace. He will lob and throw billows of peace upon your heart when you say, Lord, I want to understand. I don't understand. Give me an understanding. And he says, okay, probably can't give you that understanding because it's not going to make sense to you, even if I were to tell you. But instead, I'm going to wrap my arms around you and just hold you and give you my peace because it's going to heal you. And when we're on the other side of eternity, maybe we'll get the answer and we'll understand it. Maybe by then we won't care because we'll have our child again, right? But it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be real with God. And he's not back on you. He is super ever present, and a lot of times too, when we're going through something as tragic as this, we tend to feel like God is up there and I'm here. And I just need God to come and help me. And the presence of God is consistent and it's continual. His presence is here. It's as close as our breath. Now, all it takes is for us to be present. Because when we're present, we'll realize that he's present. He hasn't left us. He hasn't gone away. He's not having to come down from his throne to come here. He's just there. And so if you know that he's just there holding you and walking you through this, his presence, then you're just like, okay, God, I'm going to be present with you. Show me that you're here. Help me to understand. At least give me peace and hold me as we walk through this. And I can guarantee you that walk, it will become such a beautiful journey. It'll become such a beautiful testimony because now I'm able to talk to you, Jackie, and to all these beautiful people on the Facebook right now. I'm able to just say, hey, been to where you're at. I've been in the hell that you've walked through. I know this is hard, but I know the answer. And I've got the keys because he gave them to me when I walked out of my hell. And so I'm
Mm.
just telling you, I've got the key and it's him. Let him in. Yell at him if you need to yell at him. Hold him if you want to hold him. Just let him in and he'll help you through this. You got this because he's got that.
I love that because you said, to if he gave you the answer, would you be okay with it? And of course we wouldn't.
No.
We would argue with him and say, well, why didn't you do it this way? Or why didn't you wait until this time? Because it's never going to be, and we don't know the big picture, Lisa. So that was really, really, really good. That was Holy Spirit. That was really good because again, we don't know. I mean, all of this is not, he gave us this beautiful place to live in and to do these things, but it's all to bring his people to heaven and to eternity. So unfortunately, some things have to happen that align with that. But let's not forget, this is an evil, broken place.
Yeah.
It's an evil, broken place. So, and we were never promised to have a smooth life, to go, like I always tell the moms, Lisa, I always say, you go to school, you get married, you have your child, you go through elementary school, all the different little seasons of life. We're not guaranteed to go through every one of those, although in a mom and dad's eyes, we're never supposed to bury our child. That's not the common thing. That's like the worst. But I'm going to just say this and understand me, all of you moms, because I know some of you are angry with God and I know some of you don't understand. But for two things. One, as long as you choose to stay angry and in that place, your healing is not going to begin until the day that you surrender that, right? And then to just, you'll just stay there. But to really go and tell him again how angry that you are, and I should just take this content out. But I just know that I can't spend my days constantly asking why. And like Lisa and me said, it's like we can cry. I can have a little cry every day. I think I still, and I know it's like when I look at Randy's, he would not like this picture, but it'd be like, if I look at this picture, I like, I take this big, deep breath to think he's not here anymore, but we've got to get it out. We've got to get it out. And he wants you on board. And what I wanted to say was, it is an honor. This is what I wanted to say that was going to be hard. It is an honor to know that right here, all of us moms have been chosen not for him to take our child. Again, because God gave us free will. So some of these situations have happened through free will. Let's not forget that. But God somehow knew that whatever was going to happen on this non-perfect, imperfect world, that all of us, were going to be able to live through it. So now that you have, and you feel like some days you're barely living through it, but you have, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in the name of Jesus Christ? And what are you going to do to leave a legacy for your son and your daughter? That's kind of the question you bring before him.
Yeah, and I love that too, because though a part of us may have died when we feel our child had passed,
Amen,
but the part of them still lives in us. So how are we going to allow for that life that still lives in us, which is them? How are we going to live that for them? Are we going to live it to its full, or are we going to just lay in bed all day? Yeah, there's going to be moments of just wanting to lay in bed, right? Especially in the beginning, right? You just no energy. But the person that still lives in you, the part of them, how are you going to fulfill that life?
Yeah. And this isn't like a conviction or anything, you guys. It's just sort of questions to bring before God, because we know, and this is Jackie's line, to say, you are going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You have to believe that, and you need to hold on to it. And it said, what is it? For he who began the good work. Yes, yes, thank you. We'll complete it until, and I read it all the time as one of my favorite scriptures. We'll complete it until the day of Christ Jesus. Philippians 1:6. He has still plans to complete you, and he's not done with you. So you need to hang on to that. Okay. So I knew that I love talking with you, Lisa. It's like really cool. We need to be on here for like an hour. And again, if you are in, I know you're like, no, but if you're in the South Orange County area near Mariners Church, I mean, Lisa, if you feel like it, I don't know if it's permissible, but you can maybe put, how you can get in contact to be part of the group that's down there.
Yeah, it's right on Mariners site on the Mariners org, I believe they have, and it's I'm sorry, what?
Is it Costa Mesa?
It's the Irvine one. It's the Irvine one, and it's I know for sure it's under events. They might put it under the groups too, but I know you can find it on the website under events under Grieving Moms.
Okay. And so if you can't make it in there, ladies, really, and I'm trying to put out as many groups as I can, but it is summer, so I am taking a little bit of a break. We only have one group is going, and I love the ladies that are on there. It is like the Brady Bunch that we're all together on the screen. We laugh, we cry, and if you don't want to share your story, it's okay. But let's not forget that another resource is, and by the way, I've been working today and that with electrical to make sure the house is good for the retreat that is here on October 4th, 5th, and 6th in Bend, Oregon. We can put details, and I'll do a couple of videos on that. I would love, love, love to see you. I think we can take most 8, and I think right now we have 3 ladies signed up. So that's always another thing. We have an amazing, amazing time. So thank you, Lisa, for sharing your wisdom and allowing the Spirit to work through you. And I'm going to pray for you and your moms that are still down there at Mariners Church, and would love to have you back anytime in your spare time that you could come back in your spare time. Right?
Yeah.
And then if you have time, if you want to look at some of these other comments that are, maybe we can answer and say hi to the ones I missed, like Denise and Janine and Twyla and Vivian. So thank you guys for being here. God bless you. You are going to be okay. You are going to be okay. Just trust that. Okay. All right. We will see you next week. And again, thank you, Lisa. And thank you all of you for being here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.